Hello, and welcome back to our channel, Elevate Genius. In today's video, we're going to understand how we humans started to rule the world. Let's understand this by a book that radically changes how we view ourselves and our place in history. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. If you're ready to explore how our species, Homo sapiens, became the dominant force on Earth, then stick around for this detailed audio summary. There's a lot to unpack here. But before we dive deep into this fascinating journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on more insightful content like this now. Let's get started. Section 1. The Cognitive Revolution. To understand who we are and how we got here, Harari starts by taking us back about 70,000 years to what he calls the Cognitive Revolution. This was the moment when Homo sapiens, who had been just another species of human, suddenly gained the upper hand over all other species, including fellow humans like the Neanderthals. So, what changed? Harari explains that it wasn't our brains suddenly getting bigger or us evolving physically overnight. Instead, it was the development of new cognitive abilities, mainly language and imagination. Language allows humans to share information and cooperate more efficiently in larger groups. But even more importantly, Harari argues, we develop the ability to believe in shared myths. Whether it's religion, money, or laws, all of these are abstract ideas that only exist because we collectively agree they do. This capacity to believe in things that don't physically exist set us apart from other animals and allowed us to form large, complex societies. This shift was key to the survival of Homo sapiens. While Neanderthals may have been physically stronger, they couldn't match the organizational abilities of our ancestors. And as a result, Homo sapiens gradually outcompeted other human species. Section 2. The Agricultural Revolution. Fast forward about 10,000 years, and we arrive at the next big turning point in human history, the Agricultural Revolution. Before this, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, constantly moving to follow food sources. However, with the domestication of plants and animals, humans were able to settle down and form permanent communities. At first glance, agriculture might seem like a straightforward improvement. It allowed people to produce more food and live in one place. But Harari makes the argument that the agricultural revolution was actually a double-edged sword. Sure, it brought more stability, but it also came with a lot of downsides. Humans went from a relatively easygoing nomadic lifestyle to long hours of back-breaking labor on farms. Their diet became less diverse, and their health often worsened. On top of that, farming created hierarchies, social classes emerged, and power became concentrated in the hands of a few individuals. Harari even goes so far as to call it history's biggest fraud, because while it increased the population, it didn't necessarily improve the quality of life for most people. Section 3. The Unification of Humankind. As humans settled into agricultural societies, they began to interact and trade with other communities. Over time, these interactions led to the unification of humankind, which Harari explores in detail. Here's where the role of shared myths comes back into play. Harari identifies three key forces that unified humankind: money, empires, and religions. Money is one of the most fascinating shared myths. It's something that only works because everyone believes in its value, yet it has no intrinsic worth. It's just paper or digits on a screen. However, money allowed societies to trade on a much larger scale, connecting different parts of the world. Next, empires expanded human interaction. By conquering and governing vast territories, empires spread cultures, technologies, and ideas across great distances, whether through war, trade, or diplomacy. These interactions accelerated the exchange of knowledge. And finally, religions played a huge role in bringing people together. Major world religions like Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism offered universal belief systems that transcended local tribes or kingdoms. Religion gave people a common purpose and set of values, even if they were living thousands of miles apart. Section 4. The Scientific Revolution. The next leap forward is the Scientific Revolution, which began around 500 years ago. Unlike earlier revolutions, this wasn't about survival or agriculture. It was about knowledge and power. For the first time, humans began to truly understand the world around them, not through mythology or religion, but through observation and experimentation. Harari points out that the scientific mindset was a game changer because it wasn't just about acquiring knowledge. It was about using that knowledge to conquer the world. New technologies like the steam engine, electricity, and computers revolutionized society, allowing humans to manipulate their environment like never before. One key takeaway from Harari's analysis is that the scientific revolution wasn't just about science. It was deeply connected to capitalism and imperialism. The need for new resources to fuel the economy drove European powers to explore and colonize much of the globe. Science became intertwined with power and progress, leading to the modern world we live in today. Section 5. The Capitalist Economy and Consumerism. As we transitioned into the modern age, capitalism emerged as the dominant economic system. Harari emphasizes that this is another shared belief that has shaped human history. In the past, economies were limited by what they could physically produce, but capitalism introduced a new way of thinking, focusing not just on production, but on growth. This endless pursuit of growth has driven technological innovation, but it's also led to consumerism, the idea that the more we buy, the happier we'll be. Harari critiques this, pointing out that while consumerism has certainly created material wealth, it hasn't necessarily led to greater happiness. In fact, it has made people more restless, constantly searching for the next thing. Section 6. The Future of Humanity. In the final chapters of Sapiens, Harari turns his attention to the future. He raises some of the most critical questions facing humanity today, particularly around biotechnology and artificial intelligence. We are now entering an era where we can begin to alter not only our environment, but also ourselves. Through genetic engineering, we might one day be able to upgrade humans or even create entirely new species. Artificial intelligence could replace many human jobs and even challenge the very nature of consciousness. Harari warns that we're approaching a point where the concept of Homo sapiens might change entirely. We might become a post-human species or even create beings more advanced than ourselves. These are not just hypothetical ideas, they're real possibilities in the near future. The big question is, will we use these technologies wisely, or will they lead to new forms of inequality and suffering? So there you have it. Sapiens isn't just a history book. It's a wide-ranging exploration of how humans came to dominate the planet and where we might be headed next. Harari challenges us to think critically about the stories we tell ourselves, whether about money, religion, or technology, and how those stories shape our lives. And most importantly, in everything you do, remember to learn, motivate, and inspire.